Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is the Flow 101 webinar for Faith Lutheran Online. We're very excited that you're here, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. First, I'd love to introduce our admissions team to you. Tonight, we have Jen Whitney, one of our admissions coordinators, with us, and she'll help answer any questions that you have. So if you have any questions tonight, please type them in the Q&A section. If you go to your Zoom menu, usually it's along the bottom of your screen, it says Q&A. You can type any questions into that section and we'll see them and answer them throughout the presentation. And then we also have Anna Orr, the Director of Faith Lutheran Online, and she will be able to answer any and all questions for you as well. Okay, we're going to jump right, and I'm Michelle Dwyer. I'm the Director of Admissions and Marketing, and we're going to jump right in. So first, what is FLOW? FLOW stands for Faith Lutheran Online, and we didn't love the name at first, but it stuck, and so now we're just going with the flow. I'm sorry, I had to. And we are really excited about this program. We've had it for a few years now. And it's allowed us to have 3 different program types as part of Faith Lutheran High School curriculum. So you can be a diploma-seeking, fully on-campus student at Faith Lutheran High School, but being a fully on-campus student means that you may still have 1 or 2 online classes. You can also be a diploma-seeking hybrid student. Our hybrid students have at least 3 online classes, and then the rest of them are on campus. It's a mix of both. And then our diploma-seeking fully online students are exactly what it sounds like. They take their entire curriculum online, all 8 classes. Here are some FLOW facts for you. So this program officially launched in 2021 after Mrs. Orr spent many, many, many hours putting it together, and we're really, really excited for it. And we developed it to reach more students and to provide flexible educational opportunities. This program is only for high school students at this point. So middle school students cannot take FLOW classes if they are middle school students at Faith Lutheran. For the 24-25 school year, just some facts for you. We had 25 new to Faith students in our fully online or hybrid programs. 252 current students take online classes at Faith, and 18 of them are fully online students. 61 of them are hybrid students, so they have 3 classes or more in the online setting. And then 173 kids take 1 or 2 classes online. And again, those kids are considered fully on-campus students. These are our 2 most important employees, by the way. That's Crusader Lou, and that is Esther Bean, Comfort Queen. So life-taking FLOW classes, what is it like to take an online class? It's kind of just a part of the culture that we live in now. And some of you maybe have PTSD after COVID. So we want to kind of assure you that it's going to be different this time. There are a lot of benefits to taking FLOW classes. So fully online and hybrid students are full Faith Lutheran students. So they can go to the dance, they can be part of the team, they can come to chapel. We want them to be integrated on campus. And so if you're worried that your student is going to feel left out or isn't going to make friends, I assure you that our students who are fully online and hybrid students integrate beautifully into our campus community. Now, if your student lives in a different state or you're joining us from elsewhere in the world, that's awesome. Whenever you are in town, you're welcome to be on campus. All of our credits go toward a Faith Lutheran diploma. The Faith Lutheran Online diploma and the Faith Lutheran diploma are one and the same. There's also tiered tuition available, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We have very flexible scheduling when it comes to a hybrid and a fully online schedule. Obviously, if you're fully online, you can take your classes anywhere, anytime, any day. Hybrid schedules are a little bit more complex, but it provides us a really great amount of flexibility, which we'll show you in a few slides. And then, like I said, students can participate in any school activities, clubs, sports, dances, pep rallies, student government, clubs. We want you to be involved on campus. So here's a QR code that links to our course catalog, and you're going to choose Faith Lutheran Online once you get there. So just so you know, all of our FLOW classes are asynchronous. This means there's no Zoom component. Your student does not have to log on at a certain time to meet with a professor or meet with a class. That's why it can be so flexible. There are due dates, and students have weekly deadlines for assignments. So that being said, they can work on their classes at their own pace. In some classes, they can work ahead on certain things, and there's just due dates that they have to manage. All classes are NIAA accredited as well. So these are high school credit classes. Our curriculum is the Faith Lutheran curriculum. So your student will be learning the same thing that they would have learned on campus. They're just learning it in an online platform. And the teachers, 95% of our teachers for flow classes are on campus. And so if your student is a hybrid student, and let's say they take English online, but their English teacher teaches in the building, and so they're having trouble with an assignment, they can go talk to that teacher in person about their online class. We use the Grand Canyon University platform and tech support, which is really phenomenal. So our class catalog, if you choose academics on the Faith Lutheran website, you'll be able to see the different classes that are available. We have all levels of classes available. So your student, freshman through senior year, they can find classes, they can take a full schedule all the way up to be a fully online student. Most classwork totals 3 to 4 hours a week. So it is important to understand that when your students in school, they're in school for 7, 8 hours a day. And so class time, you total that up, it's a significant amount of time that they're in class. So the expectation is that your student will be spending time working on their online classes as well. So it's not an easy program by any means, because it's the same as our curriculum at Faith Lutheran, which is not an easy curriculum. But that being said, it's rigorous and it prepares your students for whatever's next for them in their life. And let's see, we have honors classes and AP class work, which totals, that's going to be about 5 to 6 hours of work per week, just like an honors class or an AP class in person. So the workload will be consistent week to week, so your student can learn to manage their time. And I would say the first couple weeks takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's high school in general, right? So as your student learns how to manage their time and balance their activities and when they work best, maybe they're morning people, they're teenagers, so probably not. Maybe they really come alive at 9 p.m. and they can just knock out a bunch of homework. I personally cannot, but that's how kids are. They'll learn how to manage all that work within the week, just like they do for regular classes. And flow classes do include finals. We wanted to make sure that the families knew that as well. So understanding what a schedule will look like as a Faith Lutheran online student. So we have a maroon and gold schedule. So every other day is a maroon day or a gold day. And it doesn't go by like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It goes every other day. So each student takes 8 classes per semester, 4 classes a day. So you have 4 maroon day classes and 4 gold day classes. That's just kind of the basic outline. So in a 10-day, 2-week session, this is what the schedule would look like. So week 1, Monday's a maroon day, and it goes through the end of the week. Friday is another maroon day. But then the next week starts over, and it starts with gold because we ended on a maroon. So if you've been part of a block schedule before, you're like, why are you telling us this? If you've never seen a block schedule before, it can be a little bit confusing, but it's really important for understanding how flow classes work. So if your student is a hybrid student, but they need afternoons off. So what this means is that we would stack their on-campus classes to be in the mornings on maroon days and gold days. So if your student, and we have different hybrid class options. So the one pictured here is if they're a 4 and 4 student. So 4 on-campus classes and 4 online classes. So maroon days, they're here for the first 2 blocks. So till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then same thing on a gold day. And then they go home. And so they have the rest of the afternoon, or they can be in a study hall. So other hybrid class options, you could do 2 on campus and 6 online. You could do 3 on campus, 5 online, any combination of 8 classes. So this is a really great schedule for students who need to go to a sport practice in the afternoon. Maybe they're a high-level tennis player and their instructor wants them to start at 1 and practice until 6 p.m. So they're free to do that because all of their morning classes are already taken care of, and then they can do their flow classes after their practice after school. This also works well for students who do equestrian or other activities that take a lot of time after school. On the opposite side, sometimes kids need a schedule where they can come late to school. So a lot of times swimmers, I don't know why swimming teams like practice at like, the ungodly hours of the morning, but they do. So if your student has an activity like that or ice skating, which starts at like 4 a.m., and your student can't arrive at school until 10 or 11, then we can stack your on-campus classes in the afternoon. So what's pictured here is a student with 3 online classes and 5 on-campus classes. So if it's marked with the FLO, that's the online class, and they have that block open. Here's an example of a student that has a 4 and 4 schedule, and they wanted every other day to be completely open. So these are really good schedules for kids who travel for sports, because in a typical 5-day week, every other Friday would be an off day. Now, if the week only has 4 days, or we have a random Wednesday off in the middle of the day, then it kind of messes it up. So we cannot guarantee you that every Friday would be your online day, so you can do that from Vancouver while you're playing hockey. But it would lessen the amount of time that you're missing school, because every other Friday or so, or every other Monday on the other side, would be a day that you would do your work from wherever you are in the world. So on your flow days, you can work from home, work from the road. A lot of students will work from wherever their tournament is, if they're, playing soccer or something like that. But then we still want students to come to campus and be involved. So let's say they have, student council on their online day. Well, they're welcome to be on campus. We want them to be on campus. And so if there's chapel, or they want to come to their student council meeting or echo group, they're welcome to be on campus as well. So here's one where the flow classes are just kind of intermixed. Now, if your student wants to be at school all day anyway, then we have some soft spaces on campus where, if your student is a sophomore, junior, or senior, they can work from one of those soft spaces. So the amphitheater, we have some couches in the hallways where they can do work. They can work in the library. Freshmen, we do assign them a study hall during those blocks, just so we can, how to help hold them accountable to where they are. So this is an example of a 5 on campus, 3 online schedule. So you can see on the maroon day, there's 2 flow classes in the middle. Now, your student does not have to do those classes at that time. They could, work on other homework. They could study for a test. If your student drives, they're welcome to leave campus and go do what they need to do and then come back for their next class. On that gold day, there's only 1 block, so it's a little bit less time, but they can, work on homework. We personally think, of course, because we're all parents and we work in education, we think it would be best if they would work on that class at that time. After all, you have the time to do that. But again, that's part of time management skills. So just to kind of recap, all 8 classes, if you have fully online schedule, I kind of mentioned this earlier. If you are fully online, all classes will be asynchronous and online. There's no Zoom component. And you work on the classes as it fits your schedule. So you're not beholden to the maroon and gold day schedules. And your assignments are generally due Wednesdays and Sundays. All fully online students are welcome to come to campus anytime for school activities, chapel, sports. They do have to check in and out, and they do have to be in a designated area. Your fully online student cannot just like come hang out with their friend in their class. That's weird. But they can be on campus, in a study hall or the library or the amphitheater. And they will have to have a Faith Lutheran student ID, and they have to be in uniform if they're on campus. Chapel advisory and activities. So hybrid students will be assigned a chapel and an advisory based on their on-campus class schedules. That way, when they are there and present, they're accounted for, and teachers know who to look for. Chapel is also available on the website as a live stream to attend when they're at home on their off days. Fully online students are invited to participate in all on-campus activities. They are encouraged to come to campus to meet with their teachers, especially if they're an on-campus teacher teaching the online class, and they're encouraged to meet their classmates as well. But they are not assigned to a chapel or an advisory, taking attendance for a student that doesn't have to be here. Gets kind of messy, but we do want them to be part of campus as much as possible. So what does a successful online student look like? Online education is not for everybody. It is rigorous. It takes a lot of responsibility. It takes a lot of motivation. Students have to plan ahead and have strong time management skills. But this is the future. A lot of jobs are remote. We are currently in a remote meeting right now. This is the way of the world. And so we think it really does prepare students in a different kind of way than they maybe would be prepared. So we have this graphic on the side that kind of helps kids. We give this to kids when they first start with us in an online class. So asking for help is really important, checking email regularly, setting up a workspace that's not distracting, that's going to help them be successful, participating, really digging into their education. All those things are going to be really important for being successful. Okay, some frequently asked questions that we have. So if a student is a freshman specifically, or if they're a sophomore, junior, or senior, and you just want them to be assigned to a study hall so that you know where they are, and because you're a worried and concerned parent, we can do that for you as well. If they miss that study hall, we will mark it as an absence, but it doesn't count as like an official absence. Students get so many official absences from an on-campus class before they get in trouble. But missing a study hall is recorded, but it doesn't count against them. So absences for hybrid students, it's the same policy as on campus except for study hall. So if a hybrid student misses an on-campus class, that does count as an absence. For sports, we have a very flexible schedule for sports. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have practices in the morning or practices in the afternoon, we can build your schedule accordingly. And then switching programs. So if you want to switch from being a fully online student to being a hybrid student, or maybe your student is filming a movie in the spring and they need to be a fully online student, we can switch your program from on campus or hybrid to a fully online a fully online program, but it has to happen at semester if there is availability. Okay, so how do I apply? Applying is pretty easy. We gave you a QR code to do it. So if you want to scan this and apply right now, we'll wait for you to fill it out. Just kidding. That'd be take a long time. It's the same application process as an on-campus student. So you choose online application when you get to the website, and then you submit your application with the non-refundable $100 fee. You upload your required documents by December. We ask for grades. We ask for email addresses to send out a recommendation form, all those kind of things, birth certificate, etc. And then we also, if they're a fit for Faith Lutheran, we will invite you to interview in January. Even online students will interview with us. The interview is over Zoom. So it's very flexible. If you're somewhere else in the world, we invite you to interview over Zoom as well. We'll figure out a time that works for your time zone. And then we will roll out admissions decisions for in February or March. So admissions decisions for on-campus and hybrid students will be released mid-February, and then rolling admissions decisions will be through the beginning of the 25-26 school year, depending on availability. Online only students, we can continue to admit those students all the way through the beginning of the term in the fall. Due to space in the school for on-campus classes and the number of applications, hybrid schedules may be offered if fully on-campus schedules are not available. So if you're on the fence and you apply for a fully on-campus schedule, but we don't have any more space, we may offer you a hybrid schedule. Or if you apply for a hybrid schedule, you go all the way through the process and you're like, actually, I don't want that. I'd like to be fully on campus. It might be a little bit tough if you don't declare that pretty early in the process. Okay, sorry to say bad words to you, but I have to talk about the waiting pool. There is a strong possibility of a waiting pool for the 25-26 school year at all grade levels. In 24-25, we had 1,172 applications for 461 spots. So we tell you that not to scare you, but to kind of activate you into action. If you are at all remotely thinking about applying, now is the time to do that so that we can get you through the process in enough time and you don't miss your chance. Because of the flexibility of the fully online program and hybrid schedules, we were able to admit 46 more kids to Faith Lutheran than we were in previous years. So it's allowed a lot of flexibility in our scheduling. And we just want to remind you that if you already are in the process, we would love your checklist complete by December, so that way we can send you the email in January to schedule your interview and we can continue to work through the process. Enrollment and tuition. So the enrollment and activity fee is $1,000. So if your student is accepted, then you get a contract and there's $1,000 fee due within 2 weeks. There's a sibling discount on the fee if you already have a student or if you're enrolling two at the same time, and that's due when you sign your contract. Tuition for the 25-26 school year is $16,275 for a fully on-campus student. And again, fully on campus may mean that they have 1 or 2 online classes. That's just the reality for all of our high school students at this point. A fully online student, the tuition is $7,600. And just want to note to you that the fully on campus and hybrid schedules, students are given a laptop to use during their time at Faith Lutheran, and the fully online students have to bring their own device to the program. The hybrid program has a tiered tuition. So depending on how many online classes you have, your tuition is somewhere between the $7,000 and the $16,000. So, and all that information is on the financial policies. It lays it out really nicely there. And we do have financial aid available for on-campus and hybrid students only, but our fully online program is so discounted already that we don't offer financial aid for that. And then additional costs, we like to give them number 500 thereabouts for uniforms and books. Okay, financial aid, like I mentioned, is available for fully on campus or hybrid students. And this is not required. It's if you're interested. It is needs-based tuition. So the application for that opens on January 1st. It is a different application than your application to become a student, which you should fill out ASAP, which is currently open right now. The financial aid application must be started prior to receiving an admissions decision. This is because if you are thinking about financial aid, when you get your decision, you have 2 weeks to decide, but the financial aid part takes longer than that. And so your timing will be mismatched. So we don't want you to hold up your potential admission because you're waiting for the financial aid piece. So it's best to, if you're thinking about it, if financial aid is something that you think your family will need, then it's best to put the application in. And we also accept funds from the Nevada Choice Opportunity Scholarships. So here's a general calendar of some dates for online classes. So online classes have a slightly different schedule than our on-campus classes. So the term for on-campus students starts on August 5th. So that's when we will have on-campus new to faith student orientation, and fully online non-local students, you do not need to attend that. If you want to attend that and you want to get on campus already, you're welcome to do that though. August 11th through 17th, you have an orientation class. And then August 18th, the flow fall term. So all online classes start. So that is later than our on-campus classes start. So that's most complicated for our hybrid students because their on-campus classes are going and then they just have nothing during their flow blocks. But who doesn't love a little bit of time off? And then their classes start August 18th and they jump right in. The flow term also ends earlier than the on-campus term, which is kind of nice because the finals are staggered. So the winter term will end, I'm sorry, the fall term will end December 7th. And then our on-campus classes will end kind of around December 20th-ish. And then it kind of rolls from there. We also have summer terms for Faith Lutheran Online. So your student can take a fall term, a spring term, and then a summer term if they would like to. Summer terms are a little bit shorter. Am I correct on that, Mrs. Orr?
Correct. They're almost half. Almost half. Our regular terms are 15 weeks. Our summer terms are 8 weeks. But it's the same material. So if your child wants to do a summer class to, get a class out of the way, or they need to retake a class, just keep in mind that it's going to move fast and there's going to be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. All right. And again, just a reminder that if you have any questions about anything that I've sped through tonight, you're welcome to throw it in the Q&A and we'll get to a Q&A session here at the end. Okay, so we'd love to connect with you. If you are a current faith student and you showed up here either by accident or because you're like, maybe I like to take an online class, you should talk to your counselor about a program change if you want to become a fully hybrid student or a fully online student. If you're just thinking about taking 1 or 2 classes online, talk to your counselor too, and they'll get you to the right person to talk to about that. If you are brand new to faith and you're unsure where to go, you can choose a hybrid or online application. That's step 1 is to apply. And then you can contact admissions office to update your preference if for some reason something changes in your thinking process. Now, we would love for you to see Faith in person. We have an open house coming up January 11th. We would love for you to apply before you come to that, because if you wait to apply till January, you're going to be very behind the 8 ball. And we'll be in a mad dash to kind of get you through the process because, again, decisions come out mid-February. And you can register at that QR code as well. This presentation will be online tomorrow too. If you miss some of the codes or miss some of the information, you can also, all of these links are on our website as well.